in selling professional services, it is important that you don't forget to get paid to understand your clients rather than to get paid once you understand your client. This is a key difference, the difference between selling as an expert versus selling as, I don't know, maybe a vendor or just a service provider. And I understood this difference after realizing that there was a common denominator between all of the sales that I was missing, many sales I couldn't close. In particular, I remember having countless conversations with this client, maybe 7 or 8 over the course of 3 to 4 months. And I could not figure why I felt like I wanted to know more, and I just needed yet another call and yet another call and give my ideas for free and ask more questions and so on. And what I did not realize at the time, it's crazy now that I think about it, but I opened my eyes way after the facts, probably a year or two after that event. I realized that what I was doing actually through my sales process is that I was trying to understand my clients. And I was doing this because, once again, I used to believe that I would get paid once I would understand my clients, right? The truth is that, honestly, I think if I look back at the notes that I took then, I think I understood that client quite quickly, probably in the first call. Why is it that I needed those 7 or 8 other calls? Is because I didn't have that clarity and that confidence in what I call the narrative of the expert, selling like an expert. And it took me, so like I said, it took me a number of years, and to decide finally that I would put together, ready to go for every client that would inquire about my services, a almost standard or pre-configured phase that I would call initially a diagnostic or discovery phase, and now I call it an assessment and roadmap phase. That really brings so much value to me and to my clients. The first thing being, well, I get paid to understand my clients. I don't get paid once I understand my clients. So what are the value on each side? So let's go over this. So what's the value for me? Well, first, I make money, profitable. So as soon as I qualify a client and I understand that there is a high probability that we will be a good fit, but I still need to validate that fit, and I still need to understand really exactly where this client wants to go and how am I going to be able to add value. I show this I quickly customize, and I show this example of what a discovery could look like, and I present it in front of my clients. So I get paid sooner. My sales process feels like a lot more like an experience that I am in control of. I am more quickly able to determine how much value I can add to my clients, if I can add value, and how I'm going to be able to add value. Now, on my client side, this is also a very, very valuable type of approach and engagement, because what it does is that it maximizes the chances for my clients that I will have the necessary time and comfort to really scope and identify the root cause of their situation and really propose something that is a great fit, that will maximize their investment, that will give them the biggest bang for their buck, right? So that's how I frame it in case I see clients who don't understand why I should do a discovery. Now, this narrative is, like I said, really the narrative of the expert, and goes sometimes in conflict with some doubts that we have inside. We doubt that we know enough. We constantly want to know more. And if I analyze, at least for me, if I analyze, deep down in where this might be coming from. It's because when I look at a client's case, I mean, I've been doing this work for now 30 years or more. I think I started in consulting in 1992. It's 2023, so that would be 31 years exactly. And what I feel deep down is that with the experience that I have, I should be able to know right away. But in fact, I don't, because every client is different. And it took me a while to accept this. The feeling that I used to experience inside was the feeling that it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed not to be able to commit to a proposal faster for a client and really say, okay, this is how you go about it. And it took me a while to accept that there are so many unknowns, even if you have really deep expertise and a lot of experience in your field. There's always something new. There's always something changing in the context. Plus, a client might not be exactly sure what they want to achieve. I mean, there is all sorts of parameters. There are all things that are kind of floating, and you need to take the time to sit down with your clients in the discovery phase and talk about those elements. So I used to really feel bad about this. I really used to think that, yeah, I was not a good professional. I was never good enough, that I would feel embarrassed about not knowing quickly and not knowing enough from the get-go. But once I realized that all of that was pointing me towards the belief and the narrative of the service provider who believe that they need to understand more and ask more questions and have long discovery conversations to finally get permission to ask for money, then I realized, no, this is not who I want to be. This is not the narrative that I want to build. MetaHelm, there it is, the logo that I want to build MetaHelm around, right? So I decided I want to build a firm with narrative power, with the ability to defy the normal when the normal is wrong. And I realized that it needed to start with MetaHelm, with me. I could not ask my client to do it unless I did lead with change. I did initiate the change. So I realized that first I needed to change my narrative. And like I said, I went from the narrative of getting paid once I understand my client, only once I understand my clients, if that ever occurs, by the way, to the narrative of, no, I want to be paid to understand my client. So these days, how does this work? Very practically, like I said, I gave you some ideas about a template that I use to do a discovery phase. And if some of my prospective clients watch this video, which I really hope you do, because I want you to have full transparency and clarity about how my sales process works, then I want people to know that I will always be happy to jump on a call and get to know you and get to connect and really try and immediately focus on you. And because I know that I always start with such a discovery phase that I call assessment and roadmap, initially with a consulting client, I'm completely relaxed. I am completely able to not focus on me and my fears and my doubts and my embarrassment. I don't care about these anymore, these feelings. I am completely here for my clients, able to fully listen and be later solutioning for them. I just remove myself from this equation, thanks to the fact that I've learned that eventually, at some point, very quickly in the conversations, I will be paid to understand my clients. So with that in mind, I spend quickly and rather effectively some time to qualify this client. But the question that I ask myself is not, am I good enough? What else do I need to understand about this client? I reverse this question. I flip the narrative on its head and I go find out if my client is a good fit for me, if they will treat my advice with respect, if they're going to do something of value with my advice. So I go over very simple, basic, and key questions, such as what is the pain that they're experiencing? What is the problem they're trying to fix, right? What have they tried before? And how soon do they need to have this problem fixed? Is there real urgency, or are we just kind of inquiring and kicking the tire here? Because if that's the case, then I'm not going to even talk about, the discovery phase. Like, yeah, you're just curious, which I respect. But then if you have more questions, please go on my website and you'll find great material that will save everybody's time. I ask if a budget has already been allocated, right? And if not, that's okay, because buying consulting sometimes is unusual, it's unique. We didn't necessarily budget for hiring a consultant this year, so we don't really have a sense of the range, and that's okay. So, but for me, that's another data point that confirms that we need to do some discovery. I pay attention to who is on the call. Do we have the decision makers that are here? And once I have that, I get to decide if those prospective clients are a good fit for me to spend time as they pay, for me to discover more about their situation and start putting in front of them a plan of action. So again, I'm going to sum it up and repeat it one more time. Don't get paid once you understand your clients. Get paid to understand your clients. I hope this is a good reminder and an eye-opening idea for you. And as always, I welcome your comments and questions. And let me know how this goes. Thank you so much.